Hey guys, quick video here today. I had this arrive in the post, so I'm going to open that at the end of the video. Plus, I've been and bought a couple of jerseys myself, so I'll show you which ones I got in just a tick. If you guys are on Patreon, you know the two that I'm about to show off, the ones that I bought anyway. The ones in the package from Marc, who's once again sent me more gear. Marc is, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, very generous, has sent me loads of jerseys, including this Lens, the one I'm wearing one now, and that Connacht one in the background. But yeah, I thought I'd go over a couple of news stories as well and some plans for the channel as World Cup is now over. I'm starting to put all the World Cup gear away. I've done a few of the the campaign reviews for the teams, but apart from a Dream Team video, maybe the other odd video here and there, I think the World Cup stuff is pretty much done. Sad as that sounds. But in terms of English rugby, the big news out is that Saracens have been given a 35-point deduction for a salary cap breach over 3 seasons. Pretty, I guess, surprising, shocking. I'm not sure. I mean, this one came out of the blue for me. I'm not sure how much this was kind of talked about amongst your Premiership rugby fans before it actually happened. I know that Saracens are appealing the decision to dock those 35 points, which is a pretty hefty fine. It doesn't look like they've mentioned anything about removing previous titles, which is something I know that happens in at least rugby league. I know if you do that in the NRL, which is the Aussie Rugby League, if you're caught having breached the salary cap for past seasons and you won, they will remove your title and deduct you points like historically, and then basically take your medals back and whatnot. So I haven't heard anything about that, but apparently the salary cap breach was over 3 seasons, and they've also been fined like £5 million, and I'm not sure how much that is in the scheme of things. I know rugby clubs are not soccer, football clubs in terms of the amount of money they spend on this kind of thing, but that does seem like a fair bit of money. Apparently there's been an investigation, this is from the BBC, which was investigation into the business partnerships between the chairman and some of the club's players. Saracens are going to appeal it. They said it's a bit heavy-handed, and the punishments of the fine and the points deduction are suspended until the outcome of the appeal. So, failure to disclose player payments in 2016-17, 17-18, and 18-19. But that'll be an interesting one to follow. If they do go 35 points, from what I've seen on the BBC's site, they wouldn't put them anywhere near relegation, but it wouldn't put them in the playoffs either, so they would probably finish mid-table if historical results are anything to go by. But we'll see what happens. If you guys have got any kind of further insight into that one, please feel free to drop a comment, because that one just kind of hit the headlines when I was reading the news, and that's pretty much where I'm at. But it was a big club to be in the news for that kind of thing. The next one, speaking of big money, Sonny-Bill Williams, and this is unconfirmed as yet, is apparently, according to Aussie media, going to Toronto Wolfpack, which is a rugby league team. I don't know this because I don't follow league that much, despite referencing league in the previous story. They're going to give him 10 million New Zealand bucks, which is a fair chunk of change. To go play for the Toronto Wolfpack, who are apparently a team which has just been promoted to the Super League over in England. So they are keen to secure Williams and make him the most highly paid rugby league player in the world. So that will be a phenomenal deal. The guy's like 34 and pretty injury prone. Very good player, no doubt about that. But I guess if you're a team trying to build a market in Canada and perhaps get some bums on seats, he is definitely a man for that. There are not many bigger names in the rugby world and rugby league world than that guy. He's a proper cross-code guy that fans of both codes, can properly get behind. So, Sonny-Bill. We'll watch that with interest because it hasn't been confirmed, but Wild World of Sports in Australia are reporting that he has signed a 2-year deal. So I guess we will we'll follow that with with a keen eye. Either way, he's done with the All Blacks, so if I were him, I'd be cashing in as well on some final deal. Channel plan, seeing as the World Cup is over, the next tournament on the horizon is the Champions Cup, which is not too far away. That's the immediate one. That's a big one for me. Last season was the first year I probably watched it like week in, week out. It's always been one of those ones that I would watch whatever game was on late over there because it was the early morning one over here. A lot of the other games are on at a very ungodly hour over here. So, yeah, that's the plan. That's the next tournament. And then on the horizon after that, we've obviously got Super Rugby down here in the Southern Hemisphere. And the Six Nations is actually not that far away when you think about it. So, yeah, even though the World Cup is done, the cycle never stops. So, yes, those are the plans for the channel in the immediate future. I know a few guys have come along during the Rugby World Cup. So, if you're into your club rugby as well, I'll be doing a bit from the north and a bit from the south, and then back into the internationals for the Six Nations. So, yeah. In terms of jerseys, like I mentioned, I have bought a couple myself. One of them is a Northampton Saints jersey. I bought this one fairly recently. I'll be doing reviews of any jerseys that I buy now on Patreon, just to get a feel for like how's the fabric, how's the sizing, how's the price, how's the shipping take, where did I get it from, all that kind of stuff, because yeah, I own a lot of jerseys, so I think I'm in a pretty good position to comment on how comfortable they are and what's like, is this size a generally bigger size. Like, I've also got this one, the La Rochelle jersey. That's the other one that I bought. I got that Toulouse one. I guess maybe I haven't shown that on the channel yet, but the French sizing can certainly be interesting compared to some of the other sizing that I'm more used to. But yeah, I'll be doing reviews, like I said, on Patreon for those. So if you subscribe to Patreon, look out for those in the not too distant future. Yeah, I mean, the reason I got those two jerseys, it's with one eye on the Champions Cup, because although I do have a smallish collection of the European club teams, still a bit of a gap with the Champions Cup on the horizon. So yeah, I'll try and pay all due respects to those teams with their wins by putting some jerseys on, but there's like 20 teams in that competition, and it is changing year to year, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now, this package is from Marc. The package is torn a little bit and there's bubble wrap through there, so I think I can see one of the jerseys. It feels like more than one, but yeah, thank you as always, Marc. I'm glad you're well, and yeah, thank you for sending this through. I'll crack this open and see what we've got here. First one. Okay, I mentioned this probably because this team wearing this jersey managed to beat my one at the Rugby World Cup. That is an England Rugby World Cup 2019 jersey. It feels pretty good just at a glance. Yeah, man, very, very sweet. It's kind of cool because I've now got the All Blacks one, which I bought myself. I got sent the South African jersey, and I've got now the England jersey for the Rugby World Cup 2019. So that's first, second, and third, isn't it? So plus Samoa is the other one that I've got. So yeah, quite a nice little collection. So very cool. Thank you for the England jersey, Marc. And this one, okay. Ireland, again for the Rugby World Cup. Marc did mention they were having a bit of a sale on the Rugby World Cup jerseys, so yeah, that's very cool. Ireland Rugby World Cup jersey. Not the best result in terms of going out in the quarterfinals, but still, I didn't rate this jersey that highly in my jersey review. But on closer inspection, it also seems nicer than the pictures did it credit for. That often seems to be the way with these things. And there is one more here. That is Italy. An Italian Rugby World Cup jersey. Now that's pretty sweet because in terms of the colours, I felt like this was one of the nicest jerseys at the Rugby World Cup. Like, that blue is just phenomenal. So, man, that's amazing, Mark. You're far too kind. I hope these were on a pretty good sale, because, yeah, collecting rugby jerseys can be a pretty expensive hobby at times. But, yeah, man, that's really, really awesome. I certainly wasn't expecting 3 jerseys. You are a champ. Again, thank you so much for your support. Yeah, but that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Saracens with the salary cap. Sonny-Bill going to league in Canada, of all places. I say of all places just because that's kind of unexpected. But yeah, Champions Cup and whatnot coming up. And yeah, thanks again to Marc for the new jerseys. I'll see if I can get some reviews up on Patreon once I've had a chance to fully wear them and try them and all that kind of good stuff. But yep, cheers, guys, and I will talk to you soon. See you later.